Okay, sorry, when you lost me, so I can just recap where I stopped.
All right, you can just move on.
Okay. So, facilitator for today is going to be Frederick. Someone here who is the financial analyst and the trainer. He has 4 years experience in finance and accounting. He's corporate finance institute, that is CFI. He has trained over 300 professionals, senior management staff on financial modeling and analysis, Excel productivity tools. He has built financial modeling and valuation portfolio projects for companies and startups. He has worked on large financial modeling projects for world-leading organizations. He's currently a financial modeling analyst and corporate trainer. So join me and welcome our facilitator for today, Frederick Ayam.
Okay, hi everybody. Hi
Is
everybody.
it
Please confirm you can hear me. Yes, I can hear you, Abdurrahman. Please confirm you can hear me. If you can hear me, just go into the chat and type yes, I can hear you. If you can hear me, please go into the chat and type yes, I can hear you. Okay, thank you, Lawal. Thank you, Glory. Thank you, Rashidat. Thank you, Jelly. Thank you, Dolapo. Okay, so thank you very much, Abdurrahman, for that introduction. Just like Abdurrahman said, my name is Frederick Wanyao. I am a financial modeling analyst and trainer, and I am also a learner, right? I am also a learner just like you. So in this data field, we are all learning. So thank you very much for being here. Let me just share my screen. Let me share my screen. So if you can see my screen, please confirm you can see my screen. If you can see my screen, just type in the chat. Yes, 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 I can see your screen. Okay, yes, I can see. Thank you, Lawal. Thank you, Kelvin. Thank you, Kabirat. Okay, so during the week, we were to embark on our project, our Excel project. How many of us were able to finish our projects? How many of us were able to work on our projects? If you're able to work on your project, just signify with your hand. Just raise your hand if you're able to work on your projects. Let me also share my camera so I can put a face to the name. Yeah, so I can put a face to the name. Okay, Rashidat said I did. Zadok said I did. Who else? Okay, Kauthar said I did. Okay, so with everybody that, for everybody that worked on there, let me just, I'm turning off my camera to save the bandwidth. You know how bad internet is for a while now. Okay, Eunice said I wasn't able to. Okay, hi Eunice, what happened? Why were you not able to finish it? Was it internet? Just type in the chat your reason for not being able to attempt it and when you hope to attempt it. Okay. I think Ubede Musa said I am still on it sending tonight. Okay, so I think we have quite a number of people that did it. I can see Taiwo's hands, Rashida's hand, Charity, Fadira, their hands all up, signifying that they did it. So who would like to share? Today is just answering questions, taking a brief review of what we did, a brief review of our project, and answering questions we may have from the project. So who would like to share? Okay, Bengad said, I will get it done ASAP. Okay, Rashidat said she would like to share hers. So, hi Rashidat, can you just share a picture of yours, or would you like to share your screen? Which of them would it be?
Rashidat, you have the screen now. You can go ahead and share your screen for us so we can help you with you.
Okay, thank you for that, Abdurrahman. So I'll stop sharing so she can share.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, we're waiting for you, Rashida. Please go on.
Okay, I'm trying to share it now.
Okay, for others too, just before Rashida shares, you can also drop, if you have a screenshot of your, if you have a screenshot of your project, you can just drop them in the chats. I would put them up later and you would unmute and talk us through, right? You unmute and talk us through. So, hi Rashidat, we're waiting for you.
I think we lost Rashida. Or is she there? I think we lost
I don't
Rashida.
think she is. Okay, I don't think she is. So while we're waiting for Rashidat, I think Kauthar just shared hers. So let me just put that up. Okay, so I'll be starting with I think I'll be starting with Kauthar. I think it was hers I downloaded. So let me just share my okay, Rashida, she's sharing already.
Okay, yeah, she's sharing.
Okay, so hi Rashidat, if you can hear me, just give us a brief overview of what you did. Share some insights from your data. I don't know why I can hear myself. I'm getting feedback.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. So please
All right,
go
thank
on.
you. Okay, so this is my screen from the HR report that the data that we're given. So we're asked to curate some data out of the entire data set. And one of them is to get the number of the female and male employees. Now, the reason this is showing like this is actually one of the questions I noted I was going to ask, because when I did the dashboard, it was showing number of the employees segmented into the female and male employees. But the moment I clicked on one of the years from the slider, it showed me this dashboard, and I don't know why that is happening. I don't know how to go back to the initial page. I just want to mention that. So after getting the total number of employees differentiated into male and female, we're asked to bring out the all-time employee count, which I was able to generate, and other questions asked were highlighted here. So for these pictures, we're to compare, we're to get the quarterly IR rates, the termination rates, the monthly, the salary trend. And I was able to use this chart based on the guided video by Mr. Adewale Yusuf that we watched. And in this place also, we're supposed to get the education by head count and all that. However, in summary, the insight I was able to deduce from this data is that the majority of the employees from this data set had diverse range of degrees, with the most being the bachelor's degrees. The least of them all was the doctorate degree. Assuming we are seeing the entire picture, we would have seen the numbers here. So the most had bachelor's degree, while the least had the PhD degree. For the job satisfaction, majority of the employees reported a very positive job satisfaction, with very little that were not satisfied with the whole thing, as well with the work-life balance. So in general, it shows that the work environment was actually conducive for the workers. However, the attrition rate was kind of high. For the entire thing, it was about approximately 20%. I think this is for 2010. What we are seeing on dashboard is for 2010. But for the entire thing, when I created the dashboard, the attrition rate was about 20%. And which actually, if I was supposed to make recommendation, we are supposed to look into it. Why are the employees leaving the job? Perhaps they are supposed to look into the compensation rate and to make life more easy for them. So that is basically my conclusion from the data sets. Thank you.
Okay, I don't know. I think the only thing I can say is wow. That's that's the word that comes to my mind at the moment. So excellent job. Excellent job done here,
Yes, sir.
Rashidat. Excellent presentation. I love the way you decided. I think one thing I love about your presentation is that aside just creating the dashboard, you went a step further to understand what needs to be done, right? You asked yourself questions. You understood the data sets right before creating this. So super well done to you. Super well done to you. So
Thank you, sir.
to answer your question, you said you don't know how to go back. So is this your
Yes,
dashboard
sir.
live? Is this on Excel?
Yes, sir. It is.
Okay, this is okay. So can you try clicking your slicer, like the whole slicer? Yes, so
Okay.
click there. Yeah, click on it. Okay. So I think you have to resize your slicer. You have to resize your slicer. I want to see everything at once. So there should be a clear all button. If there's no clear all button, one thing So if there's no clear all button on your slicer, one thing you can do is you can hold your. Can you resize the slicer first? Let's start there. Can you resize the slicer?
Okay, let's see.
No, don't just click on the slicer.
Okay, done.
Mhm.
Should I
You clicked on
left
it,
click or
right?
right click? Yes, sir.
Okay, let me see. I think it's not giving you the option to resize from there. Okay, so go to just take your mouse to the right. There should be a drop down there. Take your mouse to the right. There should be a
Yes,
drop down. Yeah, so click on that drop down.
yes, sir.
Okay, at 2022.
Yes,
So
I clicked
okay,
on
let's
it.
try this. What you can do is click on the drop down. That's the go up. Go to the first year. Go to the first year you have on your slicer. Yeah, click on it. Hold shift. Hold your shift key.
Yes, sir.
So if you hold your shift key, go to click on your drop down. If you select the last year, you should have selected everything on your slicer. So that will take you back to normal.
I'm doing that now. It's not.
Yep. So if you do that and leave everything, I think you should take your yeah.
Wow.
Yes, so I think
Yes,
you should
thank
yes,
you.
so you should take your dashboard back normal. So you know what your slicer does normally, right? So your slicer helps you to dive right into your charts. It makes your chart interactive, makes your dashboard interactive, right? So this is showing for
Yes,
all time from let's say your data starts in 1990 down to 2022, right? So your data is for all time.
yes, sir.
So with your slicer, you can ask yourself questions. What about what happened in
Mhm.
2022? What about 2021? I want to see data for just from 1990 to 1995. So when you want to select, let's say 5 years, what you have to do is you hold your control key and you click on those individual years you want to select, right? So once you do that, your dashboard will
Yes, sir.
automatically, since it's a dynamic dashboard, is going to automatically filter itself and show you data for just those selected years. So I hope I've answered your question
Mhm.
and I hope you're satisfied with that now.
Yes, thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Okay. So thank you very much, Rashidat, and excellent work on your presentation. Excellent work on your dashboard. I love it. Keep
Thank
the
you.
work up.
Thank you, sir.
Well done. Okay. So the
Thank you, sir.
next person, I think the first person who shared his dashboard here is Lawal. Lawal. So let me just share. So hi Abdurrahman, you might just I think you can unmute Lawal's mic so he can just walk us through his dashboard. So hi Lawal, please confirm this is your dashboard. Let me zoom in. Hi Lawal, can you hear me? Are you with us? Okay, I think Lawal is not here. I can't, or has he posted in the chat? Okay, Lawal, yes, sir. So, hi, Abdurrahman. Can you please unmute Lawal's mic so he can just walk us through his dashboard and the work is done? Okay, let me see if I can do that from my end. Lawal, did she? Okay,
I think
allow
you should have
mic.
the mic now.
Yes. So, hi, Lawal, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, okay. So, do you prefer to share or should I just share?
Um, Possibly let me share because I'm using my phone.
You said?
I'm using my phone for the meeting. Please help me share.
Okay, so I'm sharing. Can you see my screen? This is your dashboard. So can you just walk
Yes,
us
I
do a
can.
brief walkthrough of what you did and some of the insights you get from your data?
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. According to the assignment we're giving, the HR, I'll see that the data is for the human resources of a particular company, and we are asked or to find some data from the report. We actually find the number of female employees, the male employees, and the all-time employees counts, the current employee and those that were terminated. We were able to look at the number of people that were terminated, and we would see that um, the number of people that were terminated in the second quarter of the year is high, and in the third quarter also, as we can see from the charts for termination. Also, In the third quarter, please, I can't see the screen very well, and I'm trying to work on my system. Please, can you help me zoom in?
Okay. What chart should I zoom in? Should I zoom in on?
The new,
What chart
the
particular?
new hire, the new
You said
hire, the
the
new
new
hire.
hire. Okay, so this is a new hire here.
Yeah.
So this is
Okay.
a new hire.
Yes. And as you can see in the second quarter, the amount of hire is the new hire is high, which
Okay.
means in the second quarter of the year, there is a massive termination and massive new hire. Possibly that was due to a problem in the organization. Also,
Okay.
if we should look at also the gender, okay, nothing special to okay, please okay. Okay, let's move to the satisfaction.
Job satisfaction. Okay, so here we are.
Okay, we can see that the employees are well satisfied with their job according to the job satisfaction by head count. Majority of the employees are satisfied with their job. We have the very high and high accounting for most of the employees response. Okay, we can see that the very high is 245 and the high is 233. The medium and low are much low compared to the very high and high. So we would see that much more of the employees are satisfied with their job. Also, which the job satisfaction is going to lead possibly has led to their work-life balance. We can see that the work-life balance is better. So from this report, we can see that possibly the company is trying or has tried to improve their interaction with their employees at the later quarter of the year. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So super well done to you. Super well done to you on this, Lawal. Super well done. I know the amount of hours you put in to get this done in a very short time. So super well done to you. I think I have just one feedback. I have one feedback for you. So most times whenever you use a dark color like this, let me just zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about, right? So you can see this, your slicer, for example, you use the dark fill, which is the dark blue, right, as a fill. So it's always advisable if you do this, then you should make your font lighter, right, so that somebody can see the text. So in this case here, you see that the user might struggle to see the 1990 here, the 1991, the 1992, because, well, it is almost the same font color with your background. So whenever you make dark fill or dark background color, use a light font text. But aside from that, you did an excellent job here. So well done, well done, well done, well done. So the next thing I'm
Thank you,
going
sir.
to be, let me see which person zone would I share next. Let me see which person zone I would share next. Let me see. Okay. I think this is Sylvester's. We have about 15 more minutes to review people's work, so I'll take it as fast as I can. Please, everybody, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. My moderator, please just let's help keep to time. 1 minute. So this is Sylvester's work. So hi, Sylvester. I'll be giving you the microphone now so you can speak and just give us a quick run through of your work. Hi, Sylvester. I've given you the mic. Confirm you can hear me.
Hi, good morning. Sorry, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's a bit faint. I can't hear you clearly. I want to
Um,
put your mouth to the microphone while you speak.
Hear me now?
Okay, yes, I can hear you. It's better. It's better.
Okay. So, okay. Basically, we're giving an assignment on HR data to bring out, to get insight from HR. I was able to, based on the video that we actually, the guideline given, I was able to bring out employee counts, all-time employee counts, which is for quantity, the employee head counts, examination rate. Are you
Okay,
with
go
me?
on. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we can
Okay.
hear you.
Basically, Mom, let me just give the insight I was able to bring out. So the first insight I will be talking about would be the
Hi, Sylvester. You're not speaking. We
let
can't
me
hear
just
you.
yeah, I'm trying to view my dashboard from my end so I can talk about it because I can't see it from your screen. I can only see it from your screen.
Okay. So once you get that up, just maybe drop a message in the chats. For now, we'll just give it
Okay,
to
sir.
somebody else for the person to speak. Yeah. So let me just download somebody else's dashboard and then bring it up for discussion. So let me look at the chat with persons or who wants to share that dashboard. Let me see. Okay, we've looked at Lawas, we looked at I think the next person is Kauta. So hi Kauta, do you want to share your screen or should I share from my end? Which do you prefer?
Frederick, hello.
Hi,
Frederick,
hi, hi. Yes, I can hear you.
I believe it should be better if you can share the Excel work faster rather than them sharing. Because before most of them pull up their Excel work, it might take a while due to the internet issue.
Yeah, you
So
so but
they'll
that I understand, but I'm trying to download an Excel worksheet and they'll have to first upload to me. I'll download and then I
oh,
share.
okay.
I think it's much work than just sharing the PNG file. Yeah,
Then
but I think after this I'll let them share by themselves and they'll speak to it.
all right, no problem.
Yeah, so thank you for that. I think this is Kauta's work. And so hi Kauta, I want to speak to this. Please just give Kauta the microphone so it can talk to their work. Hi Kauta Olayomi, you now have the microphone. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So can you see my screen? Can you see your work up? Or is this your work? Or no?
No,
Is
this
this
is not my
yours?
work. Okay, this
Okay,
is
I'm
mine.
guessing this is it. Okay, so please speak to it. Just walk us through what you did, give us some insight on what you did, and yeah, over to you. You have 1 minute.
Okay, good afternoon. So we're
Good
given
afternoon.
a data set of an HR company, I guess. And from the data set, after I worked with it, the first thing I was able to deduct there is that we have, like, from the total number of employees in the company, we have male employees more than the female, and their level of education, most of them has bachelor degree, and the least people has doctorate degree. So again, I was able to get that in the third, like in the whole year, the termination rate in the third quarter is high. Like the termination of the third quarter year is like 72. Like I was thinking what could be the problem when we have, like, in the fourth quarter they have like 44 rate of termination. Why is there higher rate of termination during the third quarter? And they had new hires, like I new hires during the second quarter. I think the problem I had when I was working was majorly on the slicer thing.
Okay.
I really do not get. I was just doing the procedures. I was getting it um from the guideline, the video sent to the group, but I
Mm-hmm.
really did not get the work. I knew if I press on a particular year, I'll have different information compared to the following year. So I really
Okay.
do not get how that works.
Okay. So super well done to you, Kauta. Super well done to you. I think my biggest feedback to you would be to maybe use a better sniping tool or use a better screenshot tool, right? So when you send this as a PNG to somebody, and it's better you save it as a PNG, right? Rather than JPEG. So if you save it as a PNG, it's better and it retains quality. So that way you can transfer it from one person to another and the person can still be able to use it, right? So that'll be my biggest feedback to you. So speaking about slicers, let me just bring a data set up. So I know you know how filters work, right? I'm under the assumption you know how filters work. So this is a
Yes, I
filter.
do.
So this is a filter, for example. Filter can show me everything we have under our data set. I think that was also shown to us by Victor when he was teaching the data analysis and visualization, right? So for example, if I click on here under attrition, I would see yes or no. If I come under education, I'm going to see the whole data points we have under this, right? Now, slicers are usually used to dive in deep into your data, right? To dive in deep into your data, to ask questions. So for this data set, I want to just do something here. Let me just add about three. Let me add about 5 rows here, and I'm going to click on this table and I can insert a slicer. Now, slicers are like, look at your slicers like advanced filters, right? Like advanced filters. All I'm going to do, I'm going to insert a slicer here. So let me assume I want to, for which data points now will I put my slicer? Okay, so let me just choose job satisfaction. I'll click OK for job satisfaction, and the data points you have under job satisfaction is high, low, medium, very high, right? So I have 4 rows here. I want to make this 4 columns. I want to make these 4 columns. I don't need rows, so I can just place this here. So this is just a brief introduction to slicers and what they can do, right? So I'm just going to arrange this here. So now I have connected this slicer to this table. Slicers are usually used for chart, yes, but you can also use them for your table. If you format your data as a table, you can use slicers and they're going to work fine. So I have this data here, and if I go to the end, let me just control down to go to the last row. You can see that I have 1,476 row. That's the last place, or that's the last row where I have data. That's where my data stops, right? From row 6, where I have my column head or my row headers, down to 1,476. Now, using my slicer here, I have inserted a slicer for job satisfaction, right? I've inserted a
Yes.
slicer for job satisfaction. I can filter this data, right? This is my table data here. I can filter it based on this criteria. So rather than coming to this job satisfaction here and I'll pick, I want to see just high, I want to see just low, I want to see medium, I want to see very high, right? I can use my slicer for that. All I have to do is I click come here, I click on high, and you can see that this my table changes, right? If I come down here, it now stops at 1,472, and it is now showing. Let me go to the job satisfaction.
Just
You
I
can
job
just
satisfaction.
just
Yes.
high, right? It filters my data. You know the way you, let me use something we do in our day-to-day life. You know the way you filter chaff, right? Let's say you,
Yes.
I don't know if you know this thing. I used to drink it when I was in the north. They call it kunu, right? I don't know if you know kunu. So when you filter kunu and you want to separate, let's say the liquid part from the solid part, right? That's what your slicer does, right? It tells you which part do you want to keep, which part do you want to take out,
Like
right?
this is
So
just the only thing I want to see. I don't want to see this.
exactly. So in this case now, I filtered using the criteria job satisfaction, right? And I can say I want to see just for low, I want to see just for medium, I want to see just for very high. And you can see that my data keeps changing based on the slicer I have selected, right? I can even add a different slicer. I can come to my data here, click on table design, add a new slicer, and I can say I want to add a slicer based on attrition, right? I want to add a slicer based on attrition. I can click OK here and I have yes or no, right? So let me just resize this slicer to keep it here. Now, I can then filter by 2 criteria here, right? I can filter by 2 criteria. I can say I want to see people who left, which is, let me clear this slide, let me clear this filter. So take my data back to normal. I can say I want to see people who left, yes, and they also say they had very high job satisfaction, right? People who left and they had very high job satisfaction, right? So you can see my job satisfaction here. It is filtered for just very high, right? And if I go to my attrition, you can see yes, just people with yes, and people who have very high job satisfaction, yet they still left. I can see, I want to see people who said they had very high job satisfaction and they didn't leave. I can click on no here, and I have attrition rate, attrition to be no, and what their job satisfaction very high. I can still go one more level, click on my table, right? Click on my table, click on maybe insert, or I can go to my table design, anyone I want. Let me use from insert. Now I can click on slicer, and I want to pick, let's say, by gender. I can add a slicer by gender, click OK. Now, one thing you should understand about your slicer is it is just an advanced filter, right? It's just an advanced filter that lets you dive deep into your data. Now, for you to understand how this affects your charts, you need to understand it from the table level, right? Now, what your pivot table will be seeing if you use your slicer is it will be filtering your table, right? It will filter your data, and now this is the data that would now flow into your chart. That is why when you click on your slicer, if you select just for 2021, it is just going to leave your data for only 2021, and it will take out every other thing. If you do for 2022, it will do the same thing, 2023, and so on and so forth. So I hope this answers your question, Kauta.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much for the explanation. I get it more now. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're
All right,
welcome.
thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you, Patrick, for that explanation. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much. So,
Thank you.
who else would like for his exert to be viewed? Please raise your hand up. Um,
Okay, let me see. Let me just share one more from the chats from people who sent theirs
all right.
early. Let me see something with different color. I'm seeing one interesting color here from Gerald. The name is Gerald, but he used the color close to pink. So let me just share that, right? It's looking nice.
All
I
right.
like that.
All right. Thank you very
So
much.
yeah, so let me just share Gerard's chat here. So please give Gerard the opportunity to speak. Just unmute his mic so he can be able to speak. So hi Gerard, your chat is up. If you can hear me and if you have the mic, please speak up, and you have 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Hi Gerard. Sorry, can anybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Patrick. I'm hearing you.
Okay. So does Gerard have the mic now, or should I give him the mic? Let me give him the mic.
Let me give you my phone.
Okay, I've given him the mic. Hi Gerard, please confirm you can hear me. Confirm you also have the ability to speak.
Hi, good afternoon. I can hear you
Hi
very well.
Gerard. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Your voice is a bit low. You might want to speak. You might want to speak to your microphone. Just put your mouth close to your microphone and speak.
All right, can you hear me clear now?
Yes, yes, I think it's better. It's better. So please speak
Okay.
to your work.
So,
Yes.
could you help me put it on the screen? I don't have my system.
I think I am sharing. Have I stopped sharing? Oh, apologies. Let me share.
You stop sharing.
So,
Stop sharing.
okay. So confirm you can. Confirm you can see it now.
Okay. Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
See your screen now. See your screen now.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, don't mind my color. I just found it interesting.
Oh, they are
I
nice
felt
colors. They are nice colors.
since we are relating to human resource, I felt pink color would be fit with it.
Okay. So please just speak
So,
us. Just
um,
speak to your work.
all right. The instances we were giving is all related to human resource, and from all the analysis we did by this, we came up with all-time employee count and current employees, those who have left, and the percentage of attrition. Also looking further, we, we look into educational level of our employees, and then discover that a large percentage of them are uh, with bachelor's degree, and then the least being doctorates. I want to believe that is because that is a high level of educational achievement, and so we have just a few, probably those at the management level. And then job satisfaction the company seems to be good because the employees actually are giving high rate um, job satisfaction. Work-life balance seems to have a good work-life balance at the company, and so I think so far the company is fine. Um, New hire, the company seems to hire a lot every quarter, and probably due to the fact that they are expanding or something. Attrition, also a few level of attrition, not so much, which could be investigated more. Another thing I think we should be investigating is the few um, the few employees who do not have a good work-life balance. That should be checked to so that it doesn't affect their level of productivity in the company. Um, so because we have my screen here, or we just PNG, would have looked into resource another department, we filter by department, so that we see what is actually going on in these different departments. Because those will help us answer a lot of questions within this data set. I think that is all for now. Thank you,
Okay, so super well done to you, Sylvester. Super well done to you, Sylvester. I think one thing I like about your slide, your
Yeah.
report is this, right? Aside the different use of color, that's your use of pink, that I think you want to experiment. I love the little documentations you made here, right? For example, educational level, what is the educational level of employees, how satisfied. So these little documentations are some things I think also add more juice to your report, right? So when a user picks it up, they are seeing a chart that says educational level, right? So some of them I want to ask, what is educational level all about, right? What is this educational level telling us about? But the little documentations that you added can also help the user to be able to use your reports well. So well done, super well done on your report. I think one feedback I have is I don't know if the pink color really relates to HR. I don't know HR's official color. I'm not a HR professional, so I'll leave that to the HR guys. But I think pink might be a bit too shouty, right? Most times you're advised to keep it professional, like just keep it to stick to professional colors, the blues, the core professional colors. That's one. That would be my major feedback. And secondly, the icons, right? The icons should be quite distinct. At this point, I don't know who is a female, who is a male, and I don't know who the numbers relates to, right? Although, yes, this looks more like a female than this guy here, but this guy here is looking like 1 week. So you might also want to watch out for your icons when picking up icons, right? But all in all, excellent job done here. Well done, super well done to you. So please don't forget.
Thank
you very much.
Yeah, hi, Abdurrahman.
So before you go on, you have a question in which
Okay, yeah, I intend to stop sharing works now and just answer questions. So let me go through the chat and see questions that we have. Please, if I miss anyone, you can just call my attention to it.
one of the questions is what is the difference between calculated fields and measured variables?
Okay, what is the difference between a calculated field and a measure, right?
Yes, and measured
Okay,
variables.
okay, so most times, right? Most times, this is it. I think it's power pivot, right? Now, most times, when you're adding a measure, your measure affects the whole data model, right? When you're adding a measure, the measure affects the whole data model. But when you're adding a calculated field or a calculated column, it just belongs to one single table. Right? I don't know if that makes sense. If you're adding a measure, it affects the whole data model, and the whole data model can be a combination of data from different worksheets or from different tables, right? But if you're adding a calculated column or a calculated field, it just affects one particular table. So I hope that answers your question. I don't know. Okay. I hope that answers your question, Rashidat.
Okay, yes. Okay.
Please, Rashida, let me know in the chat if that answered your
He says
question.
thank you. He says thank you. She got it now. Understand
Okay,
that.
okay. Okay, Lawal said, please, can you explain how we can remove the slicer so we can get our initial data back? Okay, so please look at my screen. Lawal, look at my screen. So here I have, in this job satisfaction slicer, I have applied a slicer to just, I've selected just very high. You can see it in blue and others are in white, right? Showing that, okay, this is the selected and these are unselected. I have two ways I can do that. The first way is I can use the clear button here, right? That's the first way I can use the clear button. But what if a slicer has been formatted in such a way that you cannot click on this? Some people decide to, some people work on, just like your projects, it was formatted and this clear filter was taken out, right? One thing you can do is you can come to your first data, you can just hold your shift, click on from your first data to your last data, right? From your first slicer button down to the last slicer button, just hold your shift, click on the first and the last, and automatically you will highlight everything and go back to default, right? Automatically you can highlight everything and go back to default. Now let's assume you don't want to highlight everything. Let's assume I want to filter my data for medium and very high, right? I want to filter my data for medium and very high. All I have to do is I have to come to my medium, click on it, hold my control, select very high, click on the two, right? So if I want to highlight 3, hold my control, click on how many I need. If I want to highlight everything, I just highlight everything and my data is back to normal. So Lawal, I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
Okay, so
and another question we have here. Um, say, this is from Tawakal. She said, "Good afternoon, sir. I want to ask, how do I get shades of color? How do I extract them from the websites?
okay, so
I
let me
believe.
just put that
Okay,
up.
can go ahead.
No, please go on. No, please go on. Just finish reading the question.
Okay, and also, I have difficulty taking screenshot of my dashboard in a way that the text can be seen. Also, I can only
Okay, I think Abdurrahman's internet is quite slow. I can't hear him clearly, but I've seen the question. I've seen the question by Abimbola Lawal Tawakalitu. Okay, so let me just, this is it. This is the website you used for your projects, right? This is coolors.co, right? So if you go to coolors.co, you can just explore trending palettes. If you don't have a palette in mind already, right? You can explore trending palettes. So let's assume I've seen this palette. I've seen this particular color here, right? I have seen this particular color. Let me just zoom in. I've seen this color here, and this is the color I want, right? This color here. All I have to do is I'll just click on this now. What you can see, here is written color copied to my clipboard, right? Color copied to my clipboard. If I bring up my clipboard, you're also going to see it here, right? It is now in my clipboard, FB8500. Now, this is the hex code for that particular color. Let me go and apply it in my Excel, right? Let me apply it in my Excel. Let me just, let me come to this random cell here, zoom in, and I want to apply that color I just copied here. All I have to do is fill. I'll come to fill, click on more colors, click on custom, delete this hex code I have here and paste the hex code I just copied, click OK, and I have the color here, right? What if your Excel version does not let you paste hex code, right? If I come here, click on more colors, there are some Excel version that does not give you the options to paste hex code. All you can only paste is RGB, which is your red, green, and blue number, right? So in that case, all you have to do is you can come to Google. You can just search Google for hex code to RGB converter, right? Hex code to RGB converter. So I can come here, I paste my hex code here, click on convert, it gives me the RGB. So I know the RGB here for this is 251, 133, and 0. So I go back to my Excel. I want to apply it here. I come here, more colors, custom. This is 251. Let me go back to browser, 251, 133, and 0. So 251 for red, 133 for green, and 0 for blue. 0 here for blue. If I click OK, I get the same color. So those are two ways you can apply custom colors in Excel, right? That's to answer your first question. The second is also I have a difficulty I have difficulty taking a screenshot of my dashboard in a way that the text can be seen. So I think one thing you can do is you can zoom into that is why it's always important when you're formatting, right? You have to think of the end product from the beginning. When you're building your dashboard, right? You should think, okay, how do I want to share this dashboard? Do I want to share it as a PDF? Do I want to take a screenshot of it? Do I want to share the workbook with somebody, right? So you have the formatting in your head even before you start building, right? And then you make your test legible. And at the end, there are different ways you can take a screenshot. Personally, I use print screen. Once I just click on my print screen, I can highlight the portion of my dashboard I want to share, and I have a picture, right? I have it saved as a picture on my desktop. So that's one way you can do it. You can also do the way that Adewale showed you, which is you insert, you can just go to your charts, insert the shape, right? Let's assume you insert the shape. So let's assume my chart starts from here and it ends here, right? So I can insert a shape behind it, right? Send this shape to the back, right? Oh, I can't send this to the back because I don't have any shape in front now, right? But you send, look at this option here to send to back. If you send it to the back, this shape now, this shape is going to be like a plate that is going to be holding your reports, right? It's going to be holding all your dashboard and every other shape. Then all you have to do is Control A and you save as picture, and that will also help you share your dashboard in a way that will be legible. I hope that answers your question. Okay, I think with my answer, I've also answered the question of you setting your dashboard at 100%. Okay, so what else?
Another question for you.
Okay, please, Abdurrahman, if I miss any question, let me know.
Sure, I'll let you know.
Okay.
This one said, what examination? Why was that date used? The reason I didn't
Okay.
use it, I saw the departure page. Just wanted to know.
Okay, I think that question is by Joy. I just saw it. So hi Joy. If you're starting a business, right? The start date was used because we want to know, okay, this guy joined by this time, right? I started my business in 2022. I've had staff from 2022 down to 2025. I've had different staff come and go. If I want to get the total termination, right? If I want to get the total termination for my company, I will start from the start, right? I want to know how many staff joined me early or how many staff joined at the start and how many of them have left. So let's assume I've employed 2,000 staff, right? And I want to get how many of them has terminated. I'm not going to go and start from, oh, when you joined. No, I'm going to start from the beginning of my company down to this point. How many of them have started or how many of them joined and how many of them have left? That will now give me the idea behind the termination, right? How many of them have left my company? So I hope that answers your question. Next question I can see, I think is from Mohammed Hassan. I think that's the next question. Mohammed says, must we touch all the parts from the data set or specific needed? And then most times the client of the company give a specific area, or as a data analyst, I just have to give out the report. Okay, so to answer your question, Mohammed, I think I also watched the session with Victor where Victor said, before you start analyzing, you need to understand the business first, right? After understanding the business, you understand the data before you can start analyzing. Now, the reason why you have to understand the business and the data is you know what is then important to the stakeholders, right? You know what is important to the stakeholders, and then you know what insights to draw out that they want to see. If you don't understand the business, right? If you don't understand how HR works, if you don't understand what is important to HR people, if you don't understand what is important to your company CEO, you will not be able to meet his need with your analysis, right? You might be checking, oh, what's the total revenue? What is the month-on-month growth of my revenue, right? Meanwhile, that is not what he wants to see, right? He wants to see the highest selling stores, right? He wants to know the stores that are expensive to run, the stores that take up more cost, right? So all those things are the things that will help you to know what insight to generate from your data. And I think at the beginning of your project, you also have some questions here, key questions we want to answer. So these are most of the questions that drove the insights and the charts created, right? If you look at this question, you're going to see that every single chart there, right? It might be a chart, it might be just be a card visual. You see that they are all answering a question from these 15 questions we have here. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, Rashidat said, I have been saying something about data query. Is it the same with what we will learn in Power BI class? Okay, so just to state this, Rashidat, right? So there are different ways to create reports in Excel, right? There are different ways to create report. I think over the top of my head, I can remember 5. There are 5 ways to create report. The first way is using your formulas and your functions. The second way is using pivot tables. Next is using pivot table, power pivot DAX, and next is cube functions and then your array functions. Now, what Power Query does is it helps you clean data, right? It helps you clean data. Some people and some people is me, right? I don't want to say I like soft ahead, but I prefer to use formulas and functions to clean my data. There are people that prefer to just put that data in Power Query and clean it with Power Query. So Power Query is another way of cleaning your data, and definitely you're also going to see that in Power BI class. Okay, Adobe said, how can I use the theme color? I think I've answered how to get the colors. How do you add the formula from the report sheet to the dashboard? In order input the head count and the text box. Sorry, I can't try it. Your question is not that clear to me. Please, if you don't mind, can you rephrase? Okay, is that how I am going to pick each color, sir? Or there is a way to pick the whole palette? So personally, I have not picked a palette at once, but I think there should be a way to pick the palette. I want to research on that. So what I usually do is I just come and I pick maybe 2, 3 colors, because most times I keep my reports to 3 colors at most. I don't use the whole palette. So I just come pick the first, second, third color and I apply when I need. Okay, so he said this is what I get when I select existing worksheet. Okay, so if you're selecting existing worksheets, Lawal Deji, I think you have to select a cell, right? So let me come here. Let me just do something like that. Data sets here. Let me delete the whole of this. Let me delete the whole of this. Delete this. And you can delete this, and to clear my filter, Control Shift L. So let me assume I want to insert a pivot table here. I'll come here, insert pivot table, right? If I want to put it in an existing worksheet, right? You can see it's not asking me for a location. If I'm clicking new worksheet, it doesn't ask me for a location, right? It doesn't ask me for a location. Let me just zoom this in. So you can see now, once I select existing worksheet, you can see that this comes up, right? This cursor comes up asking me for a location. So I have to go to that location. Let's say I want to put it on this dashboard. I have to come here, give it a location, a cell, and I'll click OK. Right? So that is how you can place it on an existing worksheet. If I don't give it a location, let me go back there. Let me insert pivot table, an existing worksheet. If I don't give it a location, I click OK. I get destination reference is not valid. So I hope that answers your question. Hafsa said, please, I have a question. Okay, Hafsa, please. Okay, Hafsa, I don't think you've dropped your question. Please drop them. Joy Ibe says, for practice, what other data sets can you recommend we should explore beside from HR data sets, and where can we source data sets? So I think you can start from where you are, right? The analytic bootcamp, right? The analytic Corper bootcamp. You can check Adewale's YouTube. He has lots of Excel practice dashboard or Excel projects you can work on, right? They have I think you have the Adidas, you can have the Superstore data, so you can practice with all those, right? You can start from there, and YouTube is also a place to get resource and work on projects. So I hope that answers your question, Joy. Okay, Hafsa says, please, is it a must to use the color.co, or it depends on choice? Because there are colors in Excel too. Secondly, my work has not been saving. I follow the method you gave in the video. Anytime I right click, let me see. Okay, let me close this. Okay, so hi Hafsa. I think if that method is not working for you, you can also use the screenshot method I just showed you, which is a sniping tool. Right? You can just use the sniping tool. I think Adewale also showed that in the project. You can just use the sniping tool to take a video or to take a picture of your project. Then secondly, is it a must to use colors.co? No, it's not a must, right? We have different color websites. We have different websites where you can go to get your color palette, right? Now, there are different colors in Excel, yes. If I go to, let me go to this dashboard cell, let me go to dashboard sheet, click on home. So yes, you can see different colors, right? But what if I want a color that is different from this, right? What if I want a color that is different from these theme colors or these standard colors, right? What if my company has a specific color they use and it is not here, right? That is when I have to come and put in my custom color here, right? So I hope that answers your question, Hafsa. Let me
Thank you,
see.
Frederick. Frederick, before you, I think we have the question in group chat on WhatsApp. And then go ahead.
Okay, please read it to me. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, my question is about reporting our insights to stakeholders. As a data analyst, our major work is to help companies make informed decisions and reduce uncertainties. So aside the technical skills like learning Excel, Power BI, PI, and others, how do we learn the soft skills like getting insight from data, listening to stakeholders, analyzing data storytelling with data, and many other necessary soft skills? I think, for instance, we built a dashboard, and I think it goes beyond dashboard alone. So how do we go about this and learn other necessary things?
Okay. Okay. So I think oh, that's a very nice question, first of all. So I think one way you can go about this is, as a data analyst, you have to be inquisitive, right? You have to be very inquisitive. You have to know how to ask questions, right? You have to ask questions, not just asking yourself questions. You have to ask your data questions. You have to ask the industry questions, right? And secondly, you need to understand the industry you're working in, right? If you don't understand a business, there's no way you can generate insights from that business, right? Because you cannot be offering solutions to problems you don't know. Right? It is when you know the problem, you can solve the problem and you can answer questions relating to that problem, right? So the first thing is to ask questions, right? Ask questions. Then you can also take further learnings on critical thinking, right? Critical thinking, right? And problem solving. Those are also core skills needed for data analysts, right? And I will also refer back to Victor's video, which I watched, Victor's session, where he said you need to understand the business and understand the data, right? You need to understand the business and understand the data. The difference between your insights and my insights would be my understanding of the business, my understanding of the data, and the kind of questions I ask. You understand? So now you've worked on a project, you can see that Adewale didn't just build the dashboard, right? He didn't just build the dashboard. You can see he said key questions we want to answer as an analyst, right? As an analyst, your project to answer questions, right? I want you to note this down. As an analyst, your project to answer questions and drive insights, right? I want to, whenever you present your findings, whenever you present your dashboard, people should be like, wow, we didn't know this about the business, right? Wow, we didn't know that. So the highest selling store is in Kano, or the most productive store is in Kano. We didn't know it's in Kano because, well, we've been thinking that it's the one that is in Meduguri that makes us more money, right? But now you've come as an analyst, you've just opposed our revenue and our cost, and you've shown us that our most profitable stores are in Kano. Our highest working staff is in Sokoto. You understand? So those are insights you should be able to generate, right? Don't just build dashboard, like you said. Don't just build dashboard. It goes beyond dashboard creation, right? It goes beyond dashboard creation. You should be able to answer questions and drive insights that would improve the business. So I hope that answers your question. But thank you very much for that question. That was a very interesting one.
Thank you very much, Frederick. I really appreciate the explanation
Okay,
you gave to the
okay.
question.
Yeah, I think there's a question here I want to answer from Paul. Sorry for cutting you short. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. So Paul is asking, he said, thanks for the insightful information so far. Can you please go through each chart quickly and tell us why each plot type is appropriate for kind of data represent. So, hi Paul, I don't think I'll do that now because we are pressed for time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share you a resource, right? I'm going to share you a resource to easybi.com, right? That is where you can read up. I want everybody to go and read up for each chart type and when to apply them, right? Because it goes beyond building charts. You should be able to know the appropriate chart to use for each data type. So I've shared that in the chat. Please confirm you have access to that and you can use it. Somebody say, can I just submit a colorful work like this to a client or just stick with simple colors? So the first advice is to stick to simple colors, right? And in data visualization, I want you to know that less is more, right? The lesser colors you use, the more presentable your work is, right? And I also want us to learn about what we call color accessibility, right? Color accessibility. You might think that, oh, you're using many colors. You're using many colors to make your dashboard finer, you make your dashboard more presentable. There are people that are color blind. There are people who cannot see all colors. There are people who confuse red and green, different shades of red and green, right? So as much as you want to build very colorful dashboard, you should be able to also balance it so that you don't build something people cannot use. So I'm going to also share a resource. I'm going to also share a resource to a website where you can check if your colors are accessible. So whenever you want to make color combinations for your chart, right, you can go in there, put in the hex code of this. Okay, you can put in, oh, I want to use yellow as my background and I want to put red on it as the chart or the font color. So are the colors, you can ask the question, are the colors accessible? Can everybody come look at the chart and not squint their eyes, right? So I've dropped that resource also here in the chat. I've dropped that resource also here in the chat. So I think the name of the website is Are My Colors Accessible? Right? Are my colors accessible? So I hope that answers your
Thank you
question.
very much for that. Thank
Okay.
you very much for that. I will share that on the WhatsApp group chats for people that are not here. And
Okay. Thank you very
I
much.
believe that I have most okay. I think as we say, I think this is the last question we're taking for today because we are exceeded our time. This question says, I'd like to ask a question, please. Is it a good idea to report without insight within the visuals?
You said?
But you
Please
create
come
a
again.
doc of okay,
Please come again.
okay. Yeah, Makijola says, please, is it a good idea to create your report without insight in the visuals, but you create a document of file containing insights separately? Like the ongoing HR assignment, we only add two insights into the dashboard, but there are so many insights I can get from the visuals. So is it proper for me now to create a document containing my insights separately?
So yes, you can do that, right? There are different ways analysts present their reports, right? There are different ways analysts present their reports. So one thing some people do is they can come to, let me just come to this dashboard here. Although I've not built my dashboard. So you can just come here, right? What some people do is, let's assume this is a Word document. From here to here is a Word document. They can have their charts here, right? And by the side, they're going to write about insights from these charts. They have the next charts, they have insights from this chart, they have the next chart. Now, that is one way some analysts present their reports. Others, right? Others present them in charts there. Oh, I have the charts. At the top, I'm going to write, oh, one key insight from this is blah, 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 right? And others, they have this, right? They can have the charts here. And at the top or by the side, they're going to write key insight from this is blah, blah, blah. They write it there. Then another way people do it is they can just have the whole of their dashboard here. And then they have a document that serves as an appendix, right? Where you go to see key findings from the report. So you look at the report, you hold the document side by side, and then you look at the report, and then you also look at the key findings from your reports. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you very much, Frederick, for that. I believe with that, we've come to the end of today's section. And for those of you that still have other questions, I believe you can drop that on the group chat. So so that Frederick might be able to answer some of them probably later. And can we just give a round of applause for our facilitator today? He has done a very good job in doing most of our works. And, let's keep appreciating. Let's keep appreciating him. That was a lot. I learned a lot actually because there are some of the things he said I actually don't really have much idea about, and I think we all learned a lot as well. Thank you so much, Frederick, for everything you've done. We really appreciate your
Okay.
time and dedication. We
Thank
appreciate
you
you a
so
lot.
much. Thank you, Abdurrahman. Thank you for also helping make this session happen as the moderator. Before I go, I just want to leave us with one thing, right? I just want to leave us with one thing, and this is a saying by Confucius, right? So it's something I stand by whatever I do, right? It says, I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand, right? So one thing is certain from these quotes, whatever you see, whatsoever you hear, you are most likely to forget, right? Whatever you see, you are likely to remember. But what you do, you finally understand, right? So what am I driving at? As data analysts, as people who want to venture into the data analytics field, right? You are a lifelong learner and practicer. So you have to practice, practice, practice. Whatever you learn from every session, always go back and practice them, because if you don't practice them, you are going to forget whatsoever you've learned. So please practice. It's very important that you practice. I cannot emphasize that enough. Please practice, practice, practice. And trust me, the sky will be your starting point. So I look forward to seeing us as renowned data analyst a few months from now, a year from now, and hopefully we're going to connect. So to connect, you can also connect with me on, although my Twitter is down at the moment. I just took a break from Twitter, but maybe when I come back within this month, you can connect with me on Twitter, and then on LinkedIn. My name is Frederick Wanya. Also, please connect with me. Let us talk all things data. If you're also a financial analyst, please connect with me so we can discuss. Don't forget, I see, I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. So please practice, practice, practice. So thank you very much, and over to you, Abdurrahman.
Thank you for that, Frederick. Thank you for that word of advice. I think it's something we are going to buy and hold on to because it actually means a lot. And I think me myself, I will actually connect with you because I'm actually venturing into data analysis and financial analysis as well. Maybe I might learn one or two from you, I believe.
Okay,
So
definitely,
we've come to the
definitely.
end of thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. So we've come to the end of today's session. We'll see you tomorrow by 4 p.m. On there we'll be delving into Power BI. And I believe by that time we should
So I
have
think,
gotten most of our things ready. Okay,
sorry,
go
just to
ahead.
say, I think the link that Ubede is sharing in the chat is not my that's not my LinkedIn. So let me just share my LinkedIn the link. So I think the
Okay.
one that is being shared there is wrong. So let me just share my LinkedIn. Yep, I'll drop that in the chat now. So once again, it's very nice having all of you here. Thank you for having me. Thank you for learning together with me, and see you soon. So bye everyone.
All
I
right.
think I
Thank
can
you
take my
very
leave now,
much.
right? Abdurrahman, can I?
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you
Thank you
very
very
much,
much.
everybody.
All right. So we'll get the link to his LinkedIn account on the WhatsApp group chat. We'll see you tomorrow by 4 p.m. Bye.